Hello, Queens. We are talking all about money magic. And so get excited, get your notebooks, get ready. So much is happening in the world. I mean, everything going on in the US with the banks. Obviously, it's a very interesting to be talking about money, especially. It feels kind of funny to be talking about money. So I know that there's a lot happening in the field, in your field, in the universe, and on this planet. Literally, we are going through a transformation. The entire planet is going through a transformation as it relates to money. So, but consciousness of money, it's not just physical money, right? It's the conversation of money. It's the understanding about what is money, what is it used for, right? Like all of that. Anyway, we're going to be talking about money magic and how we've been casting spells in our reality together, but by ourselves as well, individually. I started manifesting when I was 20, so that was over 17 years ago. And I discovered manifestation around 19, 20 years old, and I was practicing it. Lots of things manifested, but within a year or two, everything just disappeared, right? Whether it was six-figure businesses, whether it was condos, cars, vacations, marriage, all of it. And it was all magical for sure at times, but everything slowly just disappeared. And so I knew I was missing something. I knew I was really, really missing something important. And I got frustrated. I got very frustrated with manifestation, and I realized that there's something major I'm missing. And that's really when I discovered Tao soul practices, right? Like healing practices that were hidden and kind of coveted from the public. Only Tao master teachers were allowed to were allowed to know about these practices for 5,000 years. 5,000 years, ancient practices, and literally everything started opening up. My body started healing, my mind blockages were releasing, all of it, the worthiness, everything. So, because the Tao teaches us about oneness. It teaches us that everything is one, everything is connected, everything is interconnected, and therefore everything is one. So we're inside one consciousness, right? And you carry the infinite potential of the entire universe. So before we get started, I'm going to offer a Tao blessing. So to kind of bring all of our soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter into our bodies, into our present moment across all time and space. So just take some deep breaths in and out. Centering yourself, bringing all your mind's attention into your body. And just have the intention to receive this Tao light blessing transmission. And you can make a request for any area of your life that you would like to enhance, you would like to have a transformation in. Dear Divine Tao Source, dear all of our spiritual fathers and mothers, all of our spirit guides, guardian angels of light, archangels, ascended masters, holy saints, Buddhas, all the divine beings that love us unconditionally, and the infinite stars, planets, galaxies, and universes within our body and without. We love you all, we honor you all, and we deeply respect and appreciate you. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your powers. Thank you for your divine light. Please open our hearts, open our minds, open our pathway to our highest alignment for the benefit of all beings. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And please bless our requests. Dear my Tao hands and all my Tao light treasures, please turn on, please activate and radiate, shine and vibrate to all the beautiful souls here live and on the recording for their request as appropriate. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Blessings start. Take a deep breath in and out, stretching around, embodying, receiving, embodying, receiving. Drink some water. Hopefully you have some. Okay, so let's continue. We are all divine channels, magnetically co-creating with universal consciousness, right? That means we're in a constant partnership with the universe. We're in a constant partnership with the universe every single day, right? You're a magnetic by nature. You are magnetic. So you're a magical and a very powerful co-creator with divine constantly, whether you're aware of it or not. And so the question is, are you consciously co-creating with Source, with divine, with the universe? But don't worry, you will be by the end of this training. But, you know, this is very real. Like, these things don't stop in your sleep, right? So our thoughts and emotions carry a very powerful frequency, creating an emotional energy signature in the universe, right? Quantum physicists can measure these frequencies we're emitting into our life. And so you have actually been doing your own magic on your life and placing spells consciously or unconsciously. And this is very important to understand. You've been casting spells on your life for since you could speak, right? So you're manifesting magic 24/7, and it doesn't stop even while you sleep. So we have a very well practiced way of being, right? We obviously all know, like, a lot of things that we do on a day-to-day basis, a lot of ways that we are on a day-to-day with certain people is just very well practiced. So everything takes practice, right? That's why they say practice makes progress, because whether you're progressing in a positive way or progressing in a negative way, that's your circumstance, that's your prerogative, that's up to you, that's your choice. Ultimately, you're the one with the power here. And so it's just that we have a very well practiced way of being, thinking, and speaking in the world. And so that's where a lot of the casting comes from, unconscious casting. So back to the Tao, right? Like, the Tao teaches us 5 powers, that you have 5 powers. So you have soul power, you have mind power, you have body power, you have sound power, and you have breath power. And so when you combine these powers into one quantum experience, it creates a quantum effect, which is what quantum healing is all about, which is what Tao soul healing is all about. And so there's also 5 stages of manifestation. everything comes from the warehouse. So the soul is the warehouse of all your quantum information, all your essence, all of your lifetimes of information, all of your ancestral information, all of it. It's all stored in the soul. The soul sends that to the heart sends that to the mind sends that to the energy body, and the energy body sends that to your physical matter, your physical body. So that's the stages of manifestation: soul, heart, mind, energy, matter. So we want to go to the soul. We want to go to the heart to create. We don't want to just get stuck in the mind level, which is what a lot of people do. They try and visualize their future. They try and write affirmations, and that's pretty much all people do, or create vision boards. And it's like, well, that's just one aspect of your multidimensional existence, right? That's just your mind. So you can see that you're a multidimensional being. You're existing in the soul realm, in the heart realm, in the energetic realm, in this physical matter realm, in the consciousness realm. So we're going to talk very quickly about quantum physics. So everything and everyone is information, quantum information, right? At the most basic level, it is quantum information. And everything has soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter, right? I say this all the time. Everything has soul, heart, mind, energy, matter. So the words you speak have soul, heart, mind, energy, matter. Literally the words I'm speaking to carry soul, which is information, quantum information. They carry resonance, which is the resonance. Is it resonating with your heart? They carry consciousness. So that's the information goes into you, and you either receive it and it uplifts you, it increases your consciousness or awareness, or it doesn't, right? Or it kind of brings you down to a lower level of consciousness. Whatever you're listening to, that's music, that's people around you, that's this training right now. And then same with energy, right? Everything has energy. Thoughts are frequencies, they carry energy. And so there, of course there's matter as well that you can measure. Thoughts, words have matter as well. They carry matter, which is like, what? Are you sure? Yeah, it does. So, just because you can't see it doesn't mean there isn't physical matter that you can measure, right? You need a very powerful measurement tools. Of course, scientists have these. The words you speak are the spells that you're casting. So if you look back at the last week of your life, can you see, or even the last few days? It's kind of hard to remember all the conversations you had in the last week, but like even the last few days, and just kind of review. Were those empowering conversations? Were those, conversations of high soul, heart, mind, energy, matter? Were they uplifting people, or were they kind of bringing me down? Were they increasing my consciousness and awareness and energy, or not? You can kind of see that. And same with the way you talk about your finances, the way that you talk about it with people or with yourself, right? We're habitual beings. So we have been trained. We've trained ourselves to think, speak, and act in a very repetitive way about certain topics, especially money. And so, your spells are working, whether you want them to work or not, right? Whether it's conscious spells or not unconscious spells. But we want our spells to work for us, right? Not against us. So we need to wake up to this very important practice, this very important awareness that every word we speak is casting spells on our life or on other people's lives, which is like, okay, let's not go there. But so your focus, your dialogue, your practice way of being, it has to change in the world. Like it has to. Otherwise you just get the same results, right? You must learn to master this, and it takes time, it takes practice, right? So remember, a lot of this is connected to ancestral karma, because if we look back at our ancestors, we can see the information, the soul, heart, mind, energy, matter of how they spoke about money, how they experienced money, how they connected with money, what was their relationship with money, right? And so it's really interesting to realize, like, whoa, we have some ancestral karma to transform. We have some ancestral karma to release, to heal around this conversation about money. And so same with, lifetimes. Of course, we are energetic beings, which means energy cannot be created or destroyed. We know this. This is a universal proven fact. Science 101. So energy cannot be created or destroyed, which means we've always existed. We've never were created or destroyed. Our energy, our essence has always existed, which means we've only been transforming through form. So we've had many lifetimes, countless lifetimes, and the soul carries the information, the quantum information of all those lifetimes as it relates to, everything. But in this conversation, we're talking about money. So, perhaps you lived in another time, in history, right? You could be reincarnated. Who knows? We don't need to know what lifetimes we experience. We just need to feel how we feel around money. How does it feel? Does it feel good? Does it feel abundant? Or do we feel like we're kind of gripping on and trying to survive? So what words do you use to describe money? Okay, this is really important. How is it that you're feeling about money? Is it a repetitive patterns and thought streams you have been channeling, spell casting on your life? Like, what is it? What is the typical conversation you have, maybe with your partner or your ex, or or the father or whatever of your children? Is it high conversations, or maybe talking about with your family? What are the common ways that you are experiencing and talking and feeling about money? Okay, so when it comes to money and finances and abundance, where is your focus? That's the next question. Okay, what are you focused on? People usually start off laser focused on what they want to manifest, what they want to create, how much money they want to earn, and then life happens, something happens, and they unconsciously go back to focusing on what they don't want. Right? What they don't want. And oh my gosh, I hear it all the time. And, even when I ask somebody, what do you want to create? They end up telling me all the things they don't want to create, which is so interesting. Like observing how somebody hears that question. What do you want? Where do you want to be in 6 months? They end up telling me, well, I want to get away from this, and I don't want this, and I don't want that. So it's again, very practiced way of being. It's a very programmed way of being, because when you focus so much on what you don't want, and you're just battling what you don't want, you're fighting, you're running away from what you don't want, it literally weakens you. It makes you weak. Weak, not oh, you're so weak. No, it makes you frustrated, anxious. It weakens your strength, your ability, your courage, your power. That's what I mean. Right? Because what we focus on expands, and we know this. So where your attention goes and your energy flows, that's what literally is going to grow in your field. So just like when we plant a seed and we water it, we don't tell the plant that it's not growing fast enough. Or when a little child is growing slower than everyone else, we're not hurry the heck up, why aren't you growing so fast enough? We tell the kid or the child, we assure them that their growth is coming. We trust that their body's going to know what to do, what's best for it, right? It's the same thing with our finances. If you're planting a seed of financial abundance and then you just get distracted, that's one way of doing it. Or you are trying to say hurry up, why aren't you here yet? You're creating all this resistance in the field, in your body. And so are you able to trust at the same level that we can trust a plant and a child will grow? Are you able to trust? That's just an example of a high level of trust, right? So where is your focus? When we start with looking at where our current focus point is, we can see what's been growing and expanding in our field. You can see what's been growing and expanding around you just simply by looking at where you're focused. Okay? And when we can pivot so that what we want can come to us, and then we can pivot. So you need to know, okay, where am I starting? Otherwise, you don't know where you're going, right? So take a look at what you're focused on. Is it abundance? Is it prosperity? Is it scarcity? What is it? Are you focused on what you want to create in 2023? Are you focused on the global financial things that are going on? Are you focused on, your financial goals? Or, are you focused on fear because of everything, all the uncertainty in the world? Where are you? where you want to be. What are you focused on? Are you focused on where you want to go or where you don't want to go? Are you focused on lack? Are you focused on what you don't have right now or what you're not going to get, right? Like it's all in the focus. And you can kind of hear yourself speak when you talk about things. You can hear where your focus is. Just observe, just for a minute, observe the way you communicate with other people. You can hear it when you talk. Is that what you want and need to be growing in your life right now? That's the next question to be asking yourself. Is this what I want and need? No, probably not. If it's a negative thing, no. If it doesn't feel great, no. If it doesn't expand you and make you excited, or at least content and secure and trusting and open to the highest alignment that source is wanting to bring to you, then it definitely is probably not where you want to be, what you want to be growing in your reality. So now, if not, then you just simply pivot your focus and create money spells that create what you actually want. So you're a super powerful queen, and you're a multidimensional soul. You're multidimensional. And I hope that I say this all the time because I really want women especially to get that you exist in more than this dimension. So when you're so attached to the 3D realm and you really make your external world, like you identify with it, it creates so many distortions and illusions of what's real and how powerful you actually are. So this means your manifestation powers are multidimensional too. And that's really important to get. You know, your powers, your manifestation powers are multidimensional because you are multidimensional. So, first of all, it's not a surprise either that the universal word for money is currency. Currency. Because it's a current of energy, right? That flows throughout the entire planet. And it has for centuries. So, and it will probably continue for sure. It's not going to end just because some banks went down in the US. Like it's not all of a sudden, and it's over. No. So this is important to understand that if it could just transition to a different system, a different model, a different, type of money maybe, right? Like, so it's really important to get, like, whether it's the money that we understand right now or we're transitioning into a new time, it doesn't really matter because it's all energy anyways. We've all heard the word abracadabra. Yes. So we've all heard this magical word abracadabra, and this is very interesting. Something that I discovered along the way is that we've been using this word abracadabra since the 1500s, and it was known to have healing powers back then. And it's from the Aramaic language, meaning I will create as I speak. I will create as I speak. So that is really fascinating that it was known to heal things. It was known to be a healing word. And yeah, magicians, that's like a different way that it kind of became in the media, which the mainstream kind of took it and used it as like magic, right? Because magic was, anytime people did healing back in the day, let's say, it was kind of condemned as magic. And then of course there was negative connotations for that, and that's a whole nother topic. But it's fantastic to realize, like, this one word had so much power because it was actually able to heal people. Abracadabra, just like every word we speak, carries universal consciousness. And we want to become conscious of how our words are either casting spells to create abundance or hindering your abundant flow. And so they also have colors, which is fascinating to me. We speak in colors. And I wonder if we could see what kind of paintings or, what kind of world we are painting as we're speaking. I would love to be able to see that, and I wish that I knew someone that could see colors as people speak, because that would be super cool. I knew one woman that said she saw as I was doing a healing with someone, she saw the energy and the light going into the person, which is really cool. But I wonder if we could if someone that anyone knows anyone that could see the actual colors that the language, the words create, because every sound has a color as well. It's just in a different realm, and I don't know anyone that can see colors of words. But anyway, so the words you speak are the spells you're casting, okay? So you can feel it when you speak them. Are they creating a positive feeling or not in your body, right? Like the frequency elicits a vibration, and, the feeling in the body, is it positive? Is it negative? And there's nothing to be like beating yourself up about. Like, this is not about like, oh, I'm so negative, it's so bad. No, it's just like awareness, right? Everything is awareness, because when you're aware, you can shift, you can pivot, you can choose to speak in words that feel good, that bring in pleasure. But let's be real, these patterns are generational. A lot of these patterns we're talking about tonight, they're generational. A lot of ancestral patterns that have been passed down. And so these are karmic cycles that are not just, not just from our ancestors from this lifetime, but they're also from all of our lifetimes of ancestors, and quantum information and Akashic records of information that we're storing at the soul level. So we talked about Tao soul healing. It's all about purification. It's purifying the mind, the soul, the heart, the energy, and the body. And so purifying the information at the soul level is what all ancient teachings and wisdoms have been trying to convey to us. And a lot of times, that information of purification, the purification journey, has been really like misunderstood, I find, in a lot of text, a lot of ancient texts, and like misinterpreted, rather, same thing. So yeah, but when we look at the basics of what these ancient scriptures are teaching us, and it doesn't matter what faith or tradition, it's all teaching us about purification and purifying your mind, purifying your heart. So yeah, it's all interesting. But yeah, so we have to learn the tools to self-clear negative karma by transforming our connection to the negative information. So we have almost like an attachment to like negative information in the field, whether that's connected to our finances or our lovers or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. So for this training, okay, I'd love for you to transform these money spells, okay, from low to high vibing, and the karmic entanglements you have that create more negative karma. Like, we want to transform all of this. So you really want to release certain words and phrases that and of course their vibration from your life, and stop creating more negative karma. So let me just, for a moment, I'm just going to talk about negative karma. When I say karma, I just mean quantum information. I just mean like negative information. That's all I mean. Like information that is charged with a negative charge. So there's positive charges and there's negative charges. There's ones that make you feel expanded, and ones that kind of make you feel heavy. So that's what I'm talking about. So when I talk about negative karma and negative karmic entanglements, that's what I'm talking about, okay? Just for the record. So instead of saying things like, I have to pay my phone bill, my rent, my car insurance, I have to pay my employees, whatever it is, I have to pay them. I have to pay that bill. I have to, it's like this, I have to. It's like it's kind of has an energy like you're handcuffed. Like there's no choice. Like this frequency vibration carries a very heavy energy and information. Of, again, feeling handcuffed. That's like the image that I get. And I'm curious what you see if you ever remember yourself dealing with that, like you have to pay that, I don't know, that ticket or something, the speeding ticket or whatever it is. And instead of saying it like that, it's kind of like saying things like, I get to pay my phone bill. I get to afford paying for my car, my home, your mortgage, your rent, whatever it is, your employees, especially when you make the payment or you see the funds leaving your account. Like those are the moments where you're literally casting those spells, when you're actually making the payments. And of course, when it's in your field, when you're like thinking about it and and talking about it, or just like worrying about it, right? So it's really different when you start to shift even just one word. Like, we are only shifting one word in one sentence, and you can already see like, oh wow, well, that would create a lot more wealth, that would create a lot more flow, energetic flow to flow into, right? Like, versus keeping it handcuffed. So so that's like one small little word that literally shifts the entire vibration of your experience in your reality, which literally creates an entirely new construct for your relationship with money, your relationship with finances, your relationship with that energy coming in and flowing out, right? And again, remember from one of our trainings, I think it was Becoming Abundance, we talked about the current of energy, the current of money, and the fact that, when it comes in, it has to go out. So when it comes in, don't be like don't try and like hold on to it, because you're basically telling your entire soul, heart, mind, energy, and body that you don't trust that there's going to be more. So again, more spells, more spells that are being casted. So one of the other things you can say is like, I'm connected to the infinite supply of the universe, and abundance flows to and through me always. So that's one thing you can say for sure. Or, I accept abundance graciously from the universe. All my needs are met for me now and always. Right? That's another thing you can say. Instead of saying things like, I wish I could go on that trip, or I wish I could buy that whatever, buy that ticket to go to that sound healing or that yoga class, or I wish I could go to that retreat, but I don't have the money, I don't have the time. That's another one I hear all the time, is I don't have the time. And it's like this really interesting thing with like time and money. It literally can create a world that is like, feels like the walls are like coming in on you, and like your body is being suffocated. Because I spoke to a few women this week, and that's literally the way I would describe it. Like, it's like their construct of time and money is like creating this like wall of like the room is just like coming in on them. And of course they feel like there's no time. Of course it feels like there's no time and no money, because it's like it's a losing battle. You're creating your construct for reality is self-defeating, and it needs a paradigm shift. You need to have a paradigm shift with your relationship with time, but also with your belief about what time is. I'll do another training on that, because time is a big one. Time needs to be debunked for sure. So anyway, definitely don't like eliminate this like, I wish I could, but I don't have the money. Just that's not a way to communicate about your finances. You can say things like, I'm creating the possibility of buying, or going on that trip. I'm creating the possibility. So you're tapping in, you're going from like what is, okay, maybe in this moment, right? You look at it's not in the budget. That's a nicer, not nicer, I hate that word, but it's a much less intense way of communicating with your finances, communicating about your finances. You're not casting such negative spells on your financial experience in your field when you say things like, currently it's not in the budget, but I'm creating the possibility of going or doing that thing. You're creating the possibility, which means you're tapping in to the fact that you live in an infinite universe, and it's ever expanding and it's ever growing, and you're not fixated on what currently is this current state, and you're welcoming miracles into your reality constantly. So instead of staying like you're struggling with finances, or you're struggling with your life or whatever, I want you to start saying, I'm growing through something right now, and I'll be able to go on that trip soon. Or I'm growing through something right now, and you're growing through something. Because if you really look at life, all the growth comes from these times when you're learning something new. Karma comes through, and it's like, what lesson are we learning here? Why are we in this circumstance? We're here to learn a lesson. We're here to transform out of it, transform through it. So when you speak like this, when you cast these spells, like you're growing through it, you're literally speeding up your growth. So I hear people say things like it's expensive, it's pricey, it costs too much all the time. And when we're so focused on the cost, we lose the magic of our magnetic manifesting powers. When you're so focused on the cost, and we lose the sight of the benefit, the value that purchase will bring you. And I'm talking about, like, it could be as small as buying like groceries or as big as buying, a home. So it doesn't matter. It's the way that you're communicating. It literally creates the construct, the paradigm of your life and how your life manifests, what manifests in your life as well. So cost is usually associated with deficit, with a lack, and it causes you to shrink your magnetic field when you're talking about something you actually want, something you really desire. So when we buy something and we say like, oh, we're spending money, like this is such a common way that people communicate, right? We're spending money, but we often use this word describing our energy levels at the end of a long day. We're like, oh my God, I'm spent. So this word, it like carries the energy of feeling exhausted. It carries the consciousness of feeling exhausted. It carries the soul, heart, mind, energy, matter. Soul is quantum information. Heart is resonance. What is it resonating with? Mind is consciousness. It's carrying exhaustion, right? So we don't want to talk about our finances with the energy of being exhausted, right? We don't. That's not what we want. So just remove all of these phrases for the rest of your life. I'm serious. If you really want to transform your manifesting powers as it relates to money, because you're constantly casting these spells. So stop creating even more negative karmic entanglements with these like negative frequencies than you already need to transform, right? We clear karma so that we don't need to transform it. So that we don't create more. We don't want to create more. And replace those words with these phrases, okay? The ones that I mentioned. Instead of not enough, realize you have infinite supply because you're an infinite being. When you're in flow with the infinite universal consciousness, everything is flowing all around you. The neighbors are nice to you, your friends are supportive, your lover is in alignment, your family is in flow with you. Your businesses or finances are flowing easily, right? So you can see that there's more than enough love and abundance and money that's flowing all around you. But you really have to open yourself up to it. You have to allow it in. You have to invite it in and trust that there's more. Trust that whenever you spend money, there's always more where that came from, right? There's always more where that came from. That doesn't mean you need to know the how, because that's a very left brain way of thinking. And manifestation is not necessarily always left brain. It's very right brain. It's very creative. It's connecting you to the infinite potential that you already are. and when there's an apparent shortage, when you're like fixated on like, oh, there isn't enough, well, that's always going to be available to you because that's the reality you're subscribing to. That's the reality you're attuning yourself with, right? So what are you going to focus on? An abundance of an abundance or an abundance of shortage? Either way, there's an abundance, right? So when you pivot your focus, you're focusing on your worthy outcomes, what you want to create. And we are all on a different path to prosperity, right? We're all on our own unique path. So some of you already have practiced some of these things that I'm mentioning, and maybe you have had issues with finances your entire life, or maybe you're just like ready to let it all go. You're like, you know what, this whole system is messed, which I totally agree. The whole system that we were brought up in, around money and finances, we weren't really necessarily taught how to have an abundance, or how to manage money, how to understand money, how to see money. We weren't taught about how to energetically connect with money, right? Instead of focusing on what the cost or price is, we say, what's the investment? What's the rate? Because rate is neutral. What's the rate? Rate is a neutral, it has a very neutral energy towards it. And, we want to connect with money in that way instead of focusing on what the cost or price is. We say, what's the investment? What's the rate? Because investment expands you. It's very expansive, and it connects you to the feelings of growth. And that is why we came here. We are souls, spiritual beings in a human body, and we came here to experience growth, expansion, to experience ourselves and our depths, not just our 3D, like who people told us we should be in this life. No, it's who you truly are inside. And so when you move into the feelings of value, right? Like, meaning I value the rate that my landlord or my mortgage is. I value the rate of the organic food, right? I value the investment of the organic food. I value the investment of my car insurance. I value whatever. Everything has a value. And that's the thing, is when you're tapped into value, everything is expansive, and the energy, frequency, vibration around the exchange, the energy exchange, the financial exchange for what you actually value, you're going to feel good about it when you're paying for it. So the question is more about finding out if the item is in alignment with what you value, because chances are you're only paying for things that you value. So that's important, right? To realize, oh, well, I obviously value this. So not to look at it in a negative way. You have high value for the things that you purchase. So because we either see the value or we don't. And so this is one of the ways that you can remove the resistance and stop shrinking your magnetic energy field. And we can focus on expanding our magnetic manifesting powers, right? So start to view your money conversation and rephrase these words, okay? Rephrase them this week, especially because this is fresh. So for the rest of your life, and you'll be blown away by how much more expanded you feel about your finances. And again, you are asking yourself to shift your identity, shifting your identity around how you connect with money, because a lot of it isn't even yours. It comes from your ancestors, right? From your parents. So it was all like passed down. So write out new money spells for your life. That's one thing I can definitely recommend. Write out new money spells for your life. I'll tell you this very powerful money spell that I discovered about 7 years ago. And it's called, this is how it goes. It's very simple. Lord of the stars, now hear my plea. Bring $10,000 a month to me. In perfect love, peace, and harmony. This is my will, so shall it be. On this day, I bless the year to come. My will be heard, my will be done. On this day, I bless the year to come. My will was heard, and it is done. Can you feel the vibration of that? Can you feel the energy of that? Can you feel the consciousness of that? Does it resonate? Can you feel the Shen Qi Jing, the soul, heart, mind, energy, matter of that? I can, that's for sure. It's very powerful, and you're tapping into the infinite, and that is what we are here to do on this planet. We're here to tap into our infinite powers, our own abilities to create magic. And when I say magic, I'm not talking about those weird things that some people do. I'm talking about your ability to create what you truly want and need. That's what I mean by magic. And I love you all, I honor you all, and I deeply respect your soul journey. Thank you. Love you.